Coach, Paul came into this game averaging 18 and 10 in this series. I think he had 24 and 8 tonight. Just throughout these 5 games, has he been even more invaluable than maybe you even thought coming into the series?
I wouldn't say more invaluable. I think we came into this knowing how impactful he could be with this lineup and then playing so much small ball. And you go back to the regular season matchups. So he's been phenomenal. But it's not surprising for any of us. Obviously, we have looked to feature him more, get him more touches. And, tonight was another example of him taking advantage of that. So, 13-year vet, a lot of games under his belt, and he is stepping up when we need him to step up. I think the best thing about Paul Millsap, he's true to himself, never tries to be something he's not, and he's not a rah-rah guy. He's not a guy that's going to be, screaming and yelling. But I think his calm nature, his calm demeanor has an effect on our group. Young team going through all this for the first time, and when you can look to a 4-time All-Star with 90 playoff games under his belt, that's reassuring. He's the kind of the calm for our team, and I think that has a tremendous impact on all of our young players.
Jamal really got it going there in the first half scoring-wise. Just where does he rank in terms of tough shot makers you've come across in the league?
He's definitely up there. You always think about, I think, Steph and Kyrie as great finishers, below the rim finishers, if you will. I think what Jamal has, he can finish all different types of shots, but he also has the athleticism to finish above the rim. But I thought he was terrific tonight. You go out there, get 24 points, 9 assists and no turnovers in Game 5 of a playoff game, and this is your playoff debut. And as I mentioned, I think after last game, what I'm marveling at with Jamal Murray is the consistency at which he is playing at right now. First round, it was a little bit up and down. Which Jamal is going to show up? We kind of go as he goes. In this playoff series, he's been phenomenal, and he's impacting the game in so many ways: scoring, playmaking, and rebounding. And I think he's playing some pretty good defense as well. So, great job by him.
Nikola and Jamal and Paul seem to take turns dominating on offense. You had 6 guys in double figures tonight. Is that a product of game flow, or is there a game plan to spread the ball around?
That's who we've been. I mean, you go back to the 82-game regular season, we were second in the league in assists per game. It's something we harp on. It's something that we practice. It's something we preach. And that's part of our culture, being selfless, making plays for a teammate and playing for each other, not just with each other. And I think whenever you watch us play, we're a fun team to watch because of how unselfish we are. It's not just one guy dribbling the ball 25 times and shooting. It's actually guys making the right play, playing off of each other, and really, really unselfish basketball. And that's what I love about our group. Our guys are connected. You can tell by watching us play how much we care for each other. And that's probably one of the things I love most about our group.
Not to take the conversation away from basketball, but you spoke pregame about the shooting a lot and that you thought you'd be able to keep your mind focused on the game when it started. I'm wondering if you caught yourself drifting at all, or if you thought about the shooting at all, whether it was during the game or halftime, or you were able to kind of block that out.
Yeah, I was, to be honest, Harrison, really able to block it out, concentrate on the task at hand. Then obviously after the game, it's your thoughts go out, to the family of the student that was killed, and you hope that they're hanging in there in such a tough night, and all the other families that were affected. But tragic story. Obviously, hopefully we brought a little relief to the fans in the Denver area tonight with another really quality home win against a very good basketball team. I don't know if you guys realize this. Going into tonight's game, the series was tied 2-2, as we all know, but the total score was separated by 2 points. Same exact number of threes were made by both teams. Same exact number of free throws made by both teams. So even across the board. And for us to come out here tonight and build a 30-point lead and play the defense that we did, for 3.5 quarters is remarkable. I think we need to invite Nathaniel Rateliff and the Night Sweats back more often. He asked me before the game for some advice on his free throw. He'd never taken a free throw before. I said, well, pull out the Rick Barry. And he went underhand and made it. So what a great night for everybody. And hopefully that brings some joy to a really sad day in many regards.
Coach, I know the bench has had struggles. It played well in the first half, struggled a little bit at the end of the third, start of the fourth. But Nikola was in until 3:50 with a pretty sizable lead. Can you go through your thought process on what you felt was important about keeping him in until the foul out?
Yeah, they cut it down to 20 or 22, and I always get nervous about taking guys out too early. Obviously, it's a very delicate balance for him, for Jamal, for any other starter that's in the game that late. You don't want anybody getting hurt. But I just didn't. I really loved the first three quarters. That fourth quarter was really tough to watch and sit there as they continue to kind of eat away at the lead and make threes, and we turned the ball over and we didn't get back. So it was just an insurance blanket for me, keeping him out there. But all the assistant coaches are saying, we got to get him out, we got to get him out, and obviously I finally did. So probably a little bit too long, Matt, but I want to make sure we get the win.
Coach, your defensive presence in the paint tonight, whether that was just sticking a hand in there when they were driving or getting the rebound, how important was that for you guys to get off on the right foot?
Last two games, I think we've done so much better of a job in terms of defending the paint. There have been many games where they've had high 50s, low 60s in the paint, and I think that's back-to-back games where they've been low 40s, which is a much more manageable number. And then you talk about the three-point defense, 10 of 37. So all the guys that played tonight deserve credit in that regard. And it's hard because Dame and CJ are coming at you. They're attacking. So you have to pick them up and have great one-on-one defense, but there's got to be help behind it. We felt the last couple of games, too many blow-bys and easy layups, and we wanted to be different tonight. We wanted to make sure there was help behind that drive and make them have to finish some tough shots. We know going into Portland for Game 6, it's going to be a really tough game. My hope is that Game 6 in San Antonio, we did not come ready to play mentally and physically. I hope that we have a much different mindset going into Portland for Game number 6.
Michael, two questions. One, you mentioned Steph and Kyrie when talking about Jamal. Does he remind you of those two guys? And then the other thing is, through 5 games now, Dame has not beaten you. He had 38 in Game 1, but you won that one anyway. Are you trying to make someone else beat you from the Blazers?
I would say regarding Jamal and the Steph and Kyrie comparisons, Jamal's his own player. He's his own individual, and I don't want him trying to be anyone else except him. I want him to be the best Jamal Murray possible. I reference those guys in regards to their ability to finish, and I think Jamal has some of that same ability, but Jamal's a completely different player, and I love him, and I'm thankful that I have the relationship I have with him and know that he's going to be here for a long time. The second question was, he, no disregard to anybody else on the roster, he's our best player. And when you watch the 5 games against OKC in that first round, he dominated that series. Big shot after big shot. And I think anytime you're playing against a team in the playoffs, like we tried to do with DeMar and LaMarcus in the first round, you game plan to take that guy out. And, we guarded him really well in the regular season, and we've guarded him really well in 5 games now. And, I like Terry said, he's missed some open shots, but I think you have to give our defense some credit. After 9 games, regular season and playoffs, the fact that we've defended him at the level we've defended him at. I'll say this once again, though, because he's a great player. He's an all-star for a reason. He's capable of scoring 50 in Game 6, and we're well aware of that. So we have plenty of work to do. We're not done yet.
Michael, 2 questions. Did you take exception to the flagrant on Jokic? What did you see there? And also, you touched a little bit briefly about the mentality this team needs going to Game 6. What do you think they've learned from that first Game 6 in San Antonio they can take into this one?
Did not really get a good look at the flagrant, to be honest with you, so I'll have to look at that. But the referees looked at it, they called it, so they took care of that on the court. And I think for us, what we learned in Game 6 is San Antonio is not just going to roll over because we're up 3-2. Portland is not going to roll over because we're up 3-2 and we've won 2 games in a row. They're going to fight. Just like San Antonio, they have a very good home court record. We have to bring the fight. We have to bring the physicality, the attack mindset, and be ready to play from Jump Street. We did not have that in Game 6 in San Antonio, and hopefully we learned our lesson and we'll have it, in 2 days from now.